Well, it looks like Invest 95L is still organizing at a pretty decent pace. As you can see, it's the center of circulation is becoming much more, well, not much more, but a little bit more defined every hour. There's the, here it is right here. The latest is in. We also have Invest 97L. We will get to that in the next video. So this is as of 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Shower and thunderstorms associated with an area of low pressure located about 600 miles east-southeast of the northern Leeward Islands continues to show signs of organization. In addition, satellite images and surface observations indicate that the circulation is gradually becoming better defined. That's not good. If it gets to a point where if it gets to that point, this could become a tropical depression or even a tropical storm at that point, because this thing's rapidly organized. That convection's still really going very strong, so I'll be keeping a close eye on that. If this current trend continues, advisories will likely be initiated on a tropical depression or tropical storm later tonight or early Sunday. That's also not a good thing, because quicker this thing develops, the faster this thing could intensify, the stronger this might get. So I'll be keeping an eye on this. It's more of a wait and see right now. As soon as those advisories come out, I'll analyze the cones and everything, and we'll take a look at those. But yeah, I fully expect that either by the end of the night or tomorrow morning, we're going to start seeing advisories, official NHC advisories, and we're going to start seeing those cones, and I'll be analyzing them as well as other models. This system is expected to be near the northern Leeward Islands on Monday and Tuesday, and interest there should monitor its progress. Upper level winds are likely to become less conducive for development when the system reaches the southwestern Atlantic by early to the middle part of next week. Additional information of this system, including gale warnings, can be found in the high seas forecasts issued by the National Weather Service. Still a 90% chance of development. Just wanted to put that out there. It's still a good chance of developing. It's almost certainly going to develop. It's not a good chance. It's almost certainly that it's going to develop. It's just a matter of time at this point. Satellite imagery. I'm gonna pull it back to 60 frames. Show you where we've been. Oh, we'll try that again. There we go. There it goes in that center of circulation. Oh, come on. There we go. So yeah, its center of circulation is becoming much more defined than it has in the last 6 hours. So it's getting better every hour. So I'll be keeping a close eye on that. We're gonna first do the tracks, then we'll do the intensity. All the tracks have it pretty close to the Leeward Islands and the Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico. But after, say, 36 hours, the models start to split off a bit, with a couple making that turn a little more early, and just including the HWFI, the CEM1, the UKXI. Yeah, they have that turn going a little bit earlier, while the rest of them, a few more have it turning like a little later, and then this just jumps west and everything. It's too early to say at that point, and then the other two models, the AVNI and the EMI, just like they have it moving parallel to the Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, parts of the Dominican Republic before starting to make that turn before it hits the Turks and Caicos. So it's at this point it's too early to tell. I'm sorry, but it's just too early, and I'll be keeping a close eye on it. So yeah, now the intensity. Yeah, quite a few of the models have it staying at a tropical depression. Judging by how quickly this is organizing, I don't think that's going to be the case. But hey, this thing could prove me wrong. So let's hope it proves me wrong this time and stays a tropical depression. But anyway, the majority of the models have it going up to tropical storm, with the CEMI just having it going all the way to strong tropical storm status. And that could explain a bit, considering that it's one of the models that has it turning a little earlier. But the rest of these models have it kind of like to weak to moderate tropical storm strength. So this is something I'll be keeping a close eye on. But take these. What I want you guys to do is take these models with a grain of salt. It's still too early to forecast how this is just going to be a tropical storm and everything. This is developing really quickly, and if it continues its current rate of organization, and then starts intensifying on top of that, that's not a good sign, and that changes the game essentially. After that, the question is, how strong will this get? Will it just get to strong tropical storm status, or is a hurricane in the forecast? Is it a hurricane on the table? Let me tell you this right now. Nothing below Category 1 hurricane status is off the table. Heck, this thing could stay at a 35-mile-per-hour tropical depression, or it could just jump up to a hurricane. It's just too early to tell right now, and it's irresponsible to say what this storm is going to do before it becomes even a tropical depression. So I'm holding my tongue based on that, but I'll be keeping a close eye on it, so I'll keep you guys updated. But yeah, this is what happened over the last 6 hours. The center of circulation becomes much more defined, and that convection really blows up. A core appears to be, not exactly developing, but core appears to start to form. But it's not exactly forming, but there's a bunch of convection around it. So, yeah, it appears that this thing is getting its act together quickly. So, yeah, I'll be keeping an eye on this. But here are the key takeaways I want you guys to understand. 1, this has a 90% chance of development in the next, even the next few hours. This could happen at any time. All it's really doing is just waiting for it to get a little bit more, the center of circulation needs to get a little bit more defined. This could be, the key takeaway I want you for this is that this thing could form into a tropical depression or tropical storm in a matter of hours. I wouldn't even be surprised that this would become a tropical depression by 11 p.m. Eastern time. I'm not saying it's going to do that, but I'm saying I wouldn't be surprised. So just want to keep that in mind. I'm not saying it's going to be a tropical depression in 3 hours or 2.5 hours at the time of recording. All I'm saying is that there's a chance for that. So that's key takeaway number 1. Key takeaway number 2. Take these models with a grain of salt. I say this every time, but it's true. Take them with a grain of salt. We don't know much information when it comes to the intensity of it. Heck, we don't even know where it's going to be going, which kind of ties into takeaway 3. We'll get into that in a second. But yeah, take all these models with a grain of salt. Not one model is always accurate, and if it stays at a tropical storm, that's good news. If it stays at a tropical depression, even better. But for now, take them with a grain of salt. I'll be watching these, and I'll update you if anything major changes. Takeaway number 3, I tied into it a little bit. It's still too early to know when this thing is going to turn. After 36 hours, it's after 36 hours, maybe even after 24 hours, it's still too early to know where it's going to go, when it's going to turn. Some models have it paralleling Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic for a little bit, then turning near Turks and Caicos, while others just have it just moving more to the west-northwest than it has been, then just start turning much earlier. So, anything after 24 hours, we don't have much information on. These models are really scattered after 36 hours out. So that's the third takeaway. Final takeaway is that this system is rapidly organizing. It has been rapidly organizing over the last day. So at 2 a.m. Eastern time today, this thing was starting to it basically exploded in convection, and from there it just started organizing much quicker. So that's the key takeaway. This thing is quickly organizing. Its center of circulation is becoming much more defined than it has in the last 6 hours, so keep that in mind. This thing is quickly organizing, and it could become a tropical depression anytime. So that's pretty much all I have for 95L. So be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more updates.